market for a new SUV, are we? Fancy something a little bit different, do we? Seen so many RAV4s and CHRs on the roads that actually you want something that's never been seen whizzing around town. Well, how about a Toyota Yaris? Oh no, not that one, silly. This one. This is the all-new Toyota Yaris Cross, a slightly longer, slightly higher, slightly wider version of the ever-so-popular hatchback. So, is this the perfect family runaround? Well, before I run you through all the nooks, crannies and doodahs, make sure you subscribe to the Carbuyer YouTube channel, click on the bell icon, then you get notifications every time a new video goes live. And if you like this video, then like it. Lovely.
Like I said, the new Yaris Cross is essentially a regular Yaris on platform shoes. Has the same wheelbase but sits 95mm higher, is also 20mm wider and 240mm longer. It shares the same 1.5 litre hybrid engine and CVT automatic gearbox, which, despite the fact it doesn't come with a plug for longer bursts of pure electric running, it still offers the potential for some seriously low running costs, if not the kind of rock-bottom benefit-in-kind tax that makes this kind of model appealing for company car drivers.
Do you know what? I think it is actually quite a handsome looking car. It's very regular Yaris-y at the front, isn't it? Same lights, same grille, but the higher height, I think, makes the grille look like a grumpy moustache, but in a fun way. Round the sides, we've got these big square wheel arches that I believe are taken from the Toyota RAV4, that again, I think look very nice. And then here at the back, we are back to regular Yaris-y again. Same lights, same bumper, but the higher height, I think, just makes the bum look more pert and roomier. Which actually, it's a lot roomier. I know we don't normally start with boot space at the start of our videos here on Carbuyer, but have a look at this. 397 litres of space. That is a vast improvement on the regular Yaris, which has 286 litres. Okay, it's not quite as big as a Ford Puma because that's got the mega box underneath, but it is bigger than a Vauxhall Mocha. Plus, this is super adjustable. Underneath here, you can move the boot floor around to carry some awkward bits and bobs. The rear seats fold down 40-20-40 to reveal 1,097 litres of space.
From the boot to the rear seats. Okay, legroom for me, I can put my feet under the seat in front, but it's not good for 6-footers. As mentioned before, this is a large car overall. It shares its wheelbase with the normal Yaris hatchback, which means sacrifices have been made when it comes to the rear cabin comfort. Furthermore, headroom isn't anything to really write home about, and fitting child seats could be a little bit easier, especially because the rear doors don't open that wide.
And then we make it up here to the front. This is where it feels most like a normal Yaris, apart from the driving position, because you are higher up, as you would expect, which a lot of people are going to like, because you've got a better view of the road and you can just look down your nose at the regular Yaris drivers if you want to. I mean, it's not the most exciting interior, but it's not exactly dull either, is it? I mean, it's all perfectly functional. We've got nice physical twisty-do dials here for the climate control, which we all know I am a big fan of. Little shelf here for your phone and your fruit pastels. If you go for this dynamic edition, then you're going to have the slightly larger 9-inch infotainment system, which is plonked onto the dash. It's all nice and easy to use. There's a tiny little bit of lag when you're pressing the buttons, but it's nothing too dramatic. Oh, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which, if you're the same as me, I'm always forgetting my cable, so that's a real bonus for me. Just behind the steering wheel, we have a digital screen in the middle and then analog dials around the side, but it gives you everything that you need to know. Nice amount of storage, couple of cup holders, comfy seats. I mean, thank goodness for this little goldy, bronzy, trimmy bits. Otherwise it would all be very black and grey in here, wouldn't it?
There are 4 trim levels to choose from: Icon, Design, Excel and Dynamic, like we've got here. There is also an all-singing, all-dancing Premier Edition, which will only be available for a year after launch. Basic cars get 16-inch alloy wheels, a reversing camera, smart entry and keyless start, while the top trims get bigger screens, bigger wheels, dual-zone climate control and a 2-tone paint finish with a black roof, which I think looks rather lovely. Full specs are available at carbuyer.co.uk. Just search for Toyota Yaris Cross. Right, let's get driving, shall we?
Okay, so you have one engine option, 1.5 litre 3-cylinder hybrid, which also means it only comes in automatic. And look, as much as we love a manual, let's be honest, automatic is just much more easier to use when you're stuck in traffic. Now, every version comes with 114 brake horsepower, which might not sound a lot, and actually the 0 to 62 time of 11.2 seconds might not sound very fast, but actually having the hybrid powertrain, that little bit of electrical assistance, does give you that instant acceleration shove that we all like, you know. So when you're driving it around town, it does feel lovely and nippy. I have to say, this dynamic version of the Yaris Cross does handle really well. In a way, it doesn't feel right to compare it to the regular Yaris. Because of the height and the driving position, it does feel completely different. But in reality, that standard car does make for a solid base, I have to say. The steering does feel lovely and direct. I mean, there's hardly any body roll. I mean, considering the height, that's great. It's not quite as fun as a Ford Puma. There's still a lot of joy to it. Now, the Yaris' suspension can sometimes feel a little bit firm, especially on these 18-inch alloy wheels. But if you're on a nice, smooth, like motorway, for example, it does feel very comfy schmumphy. If comfort is your thing, then the Skoda Kamiq is better at soaking up potholes, etc.
Oh, and unlike many rivals, this dynamic version has a 4-wheel drive option. But thankfully that doesn't make it super thirsty or expensive to run. Toyota says the regular model will do 64.1 miles per gallon with CO2 emissions of 100 grams per kilometre. But thanks to the fact that on the 4x4 model, the rear wheels run on an electric motor rather than a petrol engine, CO2 emissions are only slightly worse. That car emits just 115 grams per kilometre and can manage up to 55.3 miles per gallon. Don't forget that every Toyota comes with a 5-year warranty as standard, which can be extended to 10 years as long as you continue to get your car serviced at the main dealer. Whichever version you choose then, it looks like running costs aren't too shabby, are they? Wonderfully efficient.
One thing I do have to mention is the engine grumble. Now, when I'm driving nice and slowly, like this, and it's just the electric motor working, it's all nice and quiet. But when you pick up the speed, you hear that? The grumble of the engine kicks in, and it makes it sound like it's a diesel when it's not a diesel. I mean, you do get used to it, you can just ignore it in the end, or if you want, you can pay 450 quid and get yourself some JBL speakers fitted, like what we've got here, turn up the sound and sing over the top of it. But that's a loud old grumble, that is.
OK, sit back and relax for some Dealmakers and Dealbreakers. For an SUV, the Yaris Cross feels super whippy and super sharp. We love the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Can every manufacturer add this in, please? Styling is subjective, but we really like the way it looks. From a distance, you absolutely know it's a Toyota, and that is not a bad thing. That engine grumble is a tad irritating. Maybe you'll get used to it, but our ears don't like it very much. It'd be great if the doors could open just a little bit wider. It'll make the rear seats feel less claustrophobic.
I know I said earlier that this is just a regular Yaris on platform shoes, but actually the Yaris Cross is a lot more than that. It's got everything that we love about the regular Yaris. Decent styling, nice interior, good driving experience, easy to use tech. But this is in a way more practical package, plus keeps running costs down low as well. I mean, yeah, if I were you, I would add this to the shortlist.
If you like this video, then why not watch our review of the Ford Puma or our SUVs playlist. Thanks for watching.